like the closing kind of closing comment. So the theme of my talk is the danger of staying silent. I want to start with a Martin Luther King quote that you guys may have heard. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And to continue that, in the end we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. It's really heavy stuff. And I think of myself as like now being part of the community as the A and LGBTQ AA, that I am kind of like a bridge, right? Like to connect like the community to everyone else who doesn't understand it. Does everyone know what the biggest political party is in our country?
No.
It's the non-voters, the people who don't vote. About only, even this, it's been 10% up from the midterms in 2014, but there was still only about 32% of people in their 20s, 30s who voted. And it's really, it's discouraging, but also can be very empowering, right? Because now that we know all this stuff, and we can be the antidote to all the misinformation. So even though I am a cis male and I'm heterosexual, I grew up with a pretty pronounced speech impediment. I don't know if you can hear when I talk. I stutter sometimes. My lip twitches. It was way worse when I was younger. But people didn't understand my problem. They thought that I could just talk. Like they didn't know that I had this involuntarily delay. Like people kept telling me, just breathe, go very slow. Like no one got it. And like it was so frustrating for me to like carry that silent suffering. So the gift of growing up with that was that I felt like it made me very sensitive to other people's suffering. And one of the something that I can be sensitive about now is like that there's so many 4 to 10%, right, of the world is LGBTQ. So when as part of the doctoral internship, I chose there's 5 different pathways. You choose 2. One of them is teaching that I chose. So I had to co-teach 2 classes, and I made this a big part of the course by introducing myself as a cis male and heterosexual, using the word partner, and then like you realize almost half of the class is in this community, and it had a very good impact, I think, on the class. For one of our students, it was the first time that people and the professor spoke about it publicly, and it was a very empowering experience, and I want to keep that going. And I think that one of the ways that when I say mean, I mean people who don't necessarily consider yourselves LGBTQ, one of the ways that we can make a positive difference, we can be that bridge. And the bridge, and on both sides, you guys know what I mean, is by being very sensitive to language, right? Like, I am so sick of seeing that he/she, like all over when there's more than just 2 different genders, right? I'm sick of seeing mankind when it refers to all humans, which you see all over professional, like highly esteemed literature. You could even say the word history, right? Maybe it should be herstory or thustory or peoplestory. But there are so many different examples just in even the word straight. Like, I feel like if I say I'm straight, I'm implying that everyone else is crooked. Like, I try not to use that word straight, but I think that we can start by being very sensitive to language. And like, as Alfie was saying, like, there's a very delicate balance, because when I first started learning about this stuff, I was talking to my dad about it, and he considered himself the most progressive person ever, but like we had this waitress, like I don't even know what the right word is to say. Is it waiter, waitress? We didn't know what the gender of this person was, but my dad said, I'm gonna ask that person what they are, because I gotta know what they are. And I was like, no, Dad, you can't just make someone out their gender like that. But he was coming from a really good place. Like he wanted to be caring. He wanted to convey acceptance and curiosity and interest in that person. And like we started arguing. Like I was angry at him. But like if I'm shaming him for just not knowing, it's just ignorance, that can contribute to the problem, right? So like part of being the bridge or the ally, accomplice, advocate, is to like not shame people when you're just kind of gently compassionately nudging people in the right direction. I think that's a place where we can start. It could also be like, you know, talking to the people at your apartment complex about making the public bathrooms, just restroom, like, I don't know, like all people, like very basic things, you know, that could make a big difference for people when there's covert and overt discrimination, right? A lot of covert, you know, just in our language, and more overt coming from the government. Yeah, and then just people talking about like only men and women exist. Like so many people like man or woman. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Or if you're a man or a woman, and like that's another area that we can be really sensitive to and curious about, and we can just mention that we met non-binary people, and yeah, this is the early steps of me, my journey being the bridge and an ally, accomplice, whatever it is, and I hope that everyone can follow in my footsteps, and I'm not the only one.
You're not.